Hey everybody, SuzyQue here and welcome to QueAquatics and Exotics. And today I want to get a little salty with you. I have two saltwater tanks at John's house. I have a 74 bow front and a Nano reef tank. I have a Watchman goby and a pistol shrimp, which I absolutely love. They have a symbiotic relationship. I have a rose petal goby, and apparently now I have a creature. It is a creature from under the sea living in my tank. Let me explain a little bit. And from the best I can gather, and I have a couple shots of it, it's a bristle worm. You would think, okay, a little bristle worm. No. It goes from my fingertip down to here. That's one of them. There were several that came out during the day while I saw them. Now keep in mind, I have stared at this tank for hours on end because I just love watching the goby and the shrimp interact. I've got a big snail in there that eats algae, and it just keeps growing algae, like I call him my hippie. And I remove his algae from his shell all the time, but it just keeps growing. I have some little tiny crabs. So I brought home some new food. Omega 1 is one of my favorite companies. I have a lot, but I like their ingredients. I didn't eat it, but my fish like them. I'm an ingredient reader. I like their ingredients. Neither here nor there. These are slow sinking with garlic marine mini pellets. Used this for the first time, popped the lid, took off the thing, and I fed it to my nano tank because I knew my goby will come out so I can watch him if I give good food. So he did that. I went back to get my camera. Then I saw it. I'm telling you guys, I was horrified. Now, I have stared at this tank for hours on end watching these guys. I have had my camera set up for countless hours. Well, I've never seen anything like this. And I was freaked out. So at first, I thought it was like an octopus. Don't judge, okay? Until you see what I saw. The one tentacle was from here down to here at least, coming out from under the rock. And it was probably the size of my pinky, the thickness of my pinky from here to here. And as I was looking at it, there was another one, if not three of them, starting to come out, and it almost looked like they stretched out. I don't think they're that big all the time, but it was stretching out, grabbing this food, and I got some real quick clips of one of them, because as it saw me, it retreated back into the rock, and then there I was back at my tank again. So freaked out, I went and got John. And I didn't think you were going to see him because I thought, you know, he knows I'm onto him. Like my goby, when he knows I'm watching, he hides. He came out and he saw it. Thank goodness he saw it. I'm not going crazy. Now keep in mind, this is just the tail end of it, the tip of it. This tip of it that you're seeing is about 8 inches. It was stretched out farther, flatter, and when I looked in the rock, there was at least 2 or 3 of them in there. That's what made me think it octopus, even though I know it's not an octopus. Or I thought it was some crazy starfish that I didn't know about that has these huge tentacles. I thought that too because there were so many. So I posted it on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I had some very good friends, saltwater people, knowledgeable people that told me what it was. It was a bristle worm. I think somebody said it was a fireworm. Somebody else said it was a bristle worm. I'm going to look it up online, right? How hard could it be to get information on it? Well, this information was saying it was good. This information saying it was bad. This one information saying it was detritus eater. This information say it'll eat your fish. This information said it would sting you and it'll hurt for weeks. This information was saying you'll never get rid of it once you have them. Oh my gosh. I was like, what is going on? Okay. My friend saw this posting and called me immediately because she's had firsthand experience with it. Thank you, Liz. And she was just as creeped out about it as I am. Now, I'm all for, if it's like a cleanup crew, and it is a detritus eater, and I know there's probably a fancy name for a critter that eats detritus. A detritivore? I don't know, I just made that up. Oh, I snorted. Okay, I have cleanup crews in almost all of my bioactive enclosures. They are isopods and springtails and all different critters that create aeration through the substrate, that eat the detritus. I'm good for that. And if, you know, one of my animals eats one or two, that's fine because they're multiplying. This thing was bigger than my tank, and there was many of them. It wasn't like they're cute little worms eating detritus. This thing was from here to here. Okay, so I got to do something. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I found some stuff out about the bristle worms. I got to take a breath because that's how freaked out I am. Each segment has some things on it covered in bristles, and they're made up of, I don't know how to say it, CHITIN, and they can grow up to 24 inches. This thing was as thick as my pinky. So if you're thinking bristle worms and you look up online bristle worms and you see things, cute little things the size of spaghetti, that is not what this was. These were huge. The bristles, so if I just went in and pulled it out, the bristles can get embedded in my fingers, kind of like if I just went and grabbed a cactus, that would hurt. I don't want to get stung. The reason why I've never seen them before, they're nocturnal. They're like coming out at night. And do I come out at night with a flashlight and shine on it super quick? No. At the right size, they could be a part of the cleanup crew. How great is that? I don't want it. So these worms were massive, larger than any fish I have. They are scavengers and they will eat any leftover food on the ground. I would rather feed less. And here's going to be my remedy, because I don't know what to do. I don't want anything to happen to my Watchman goby or my pistol shrimp. I don't want anything to happen to my rose petal. I gotta look it up and make sure it's called a rose petal goby. I don't want anything to happen to my rose petal goby. So here's what I'm going to do. I won a Nano tank at my local fish club, Bucks County Aquarium Society. I won the big raffle, which was this beautiful tank and stand. So I'm gonna set that up. I'm gonna start fresh. And I came to this conclusion for a couple of reasons. One, these things creep me out. For two, my tank is filled with Aptasia, Xenia, like all these invasive corals. So aside from the fact that I have these absolute overgrown invasive weeds, I'll call them, for lack of a better way of describing them. And this tank is just a train wreck. And so this is the perfect opportunity. I'm going to set up the new tank. I'm going to cycle it right from the get-go. And once it's cycled and everything's good, I'm going to move the gobies and pistol shrimp over. That's my plan right now. Is I'm going to set up a new tank from start, cycle it, move my fish over, my livestock over, and then I'm going to take care of the problem in that tank. I'm going to take care of what I perceive to be a problem in that tank. And moving forward, there's nothing going in my new tank, my new Nano tank. There's not one coral that's going to go in that isn't dipped, if not dipped twice, and put into a quarantine tank. Now this old tank I might just sterilize and make it my quarantine tank. I haven't gotten that far yet, but that is what I have decided to do. I believe that Nano tank is overrun with bristle worms, and I'm going to fix the situation. But first, I'll have to set up a tank. So stay tuned to my next video. My next saltwater video is going to be setting up this tank and getting it ready, because I didn't realize, but now I know I'm not alone. There's a lot of first-time saltwater keepers that don't know this, or don't act on it, or don't understand the importance of, once I get my tank now set up, it's going to be pristine. And just like I do with my fish, like I've heard other people fish. There's a face group I was on, really, does anybody really quarantine their fish, please? I'm like, I do. Had some horrible things happen. I quarantine my fish, I observe them, I watch them, I make sure everything's good before I put them in my tank. I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to be dipping and quarantine things before they go into my new saltwater Nano Reef tank. If you're interested in watching me set up my saltwater tank, stay tuned, because that's going to be the next saltwater video. But until then, watch out for those bristle worms. Let me tell you, I thought, I didn't think, because I didn't have any clue. any clue. So I'm about to get rid of that creature from under the sea. Maybe it's like the Loch Ness Monster. Maybe the Loch Ness Monster is really a bristle worm. I think I'm onto something. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.